Good evening, everyone. My name is Edward Simpson, and today I will be discussing the labeling theory. The labeling theory is basically an offshoot of symbolic interactionism. Symbolic interactionism is a sociological theory about social behavior in general. The labeling theory focuses on two central ideas of symbolic interactionism: interaction and symbolic. According to the labeling theory, deviance involves more than one person. It includes the person committing the act and the conventional people on how they interact with each other. Symbolic refers to the meaning of how people respond to an act, whether it's negative or positive. So in other words, the labeling theory is about the dynamic interaction between deviance and non-deviance. Labeling theories are not concerned with what causes the deviant behavior. Instead, they ask two questions: who applies the deviant label to whom? What are the consequences for the person being labeled? And the labeler. So who are the usual labelers? Generally, they are rich, white, and powerful in the institutions they control, such as the justice system. The receiving end of these labels consists of the opposite: poor, black, and the powerless. According to the labeling theory, there are consequences of labeling on both sides. For the person being labeled, the person is more likely to see themselves as deviant and thus continue to engage in deviant acts. They also suffer social stigmatization, which includes being ridiculed, degraded, harassed, beaten, and dehumanized. They are defined only by the label imposed on them by society. For the labeler, the consequences are positive. Identifying who the deviants are sets the standards for what's wrong and what's right. This in turn maintains social cohesion and order. Another consequence for the labeler is being able to make the distinction between good and evil. Many studies have been done to test the validity of this theory. In one study, it was found that teenagers who were publicly labeled were more likely to reoffend than their non-labeled peers. However, in another study involving poor teenage girls, it was found that those with strong bonds to their mothers and grandmothers do not engage in deviant behaviors such as sex, drugs, and alcohol, despite the labels of slut, druggies, or white trash. The labeling theory has been criticized for several things. For one, it does not identify the cause of deviant behavior. Another criticism is that research for labeling theory is inconsistent, such as the examples I mentioned earlier. Lastly, the labeling theory ignores hidden deviance since it focuses only on labeled behavior. The implication is that behavior is only deviant if it is publicly known. This theory is of great interest to me because we live in a society that are full of labels. A person can make countless positive contributions to society throughout their life, but all it takes is one deviant act, and that person only will be known for that act. As I have discussed before, labels are good to have because it identifies what's accepted and what's not. But at the same time, labels can be stigmatizing, constraining, and unforgiving. And lastly, in the words of the great rapper Eminem, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would you say I am? But I believe my mother put it best with her words. But as my mother used to always say, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to that matters.